Hey guys, we are outside the 2021 Wildwood Heritage Glen. This is our rig, our fifth wheel. What we need to do is we're going to be installing a camera into the mount. It is pre-wired for a Furrion camera, which we did have a Furrion camera in there. It started glitching a little bit. So what we're going to do is a company reached out to us, asked us if we'd like to try their cameras, this is supposed to be a direct plug-in for the Furrion. If that's the case, this should be easy, especially if you're pre-wired, because there's just a plug up there. You plug it in, screw it in, you're done. So we're hoping it's that simple, especially since we did have the Furrion up there. We still have the Furrion. They're sending us another one, but we're going to try this out in the meantime. What's cool about this one is it can hold up to 3 cameras on the same screen. And then we also have the second camera if you want to put one above your door or something like that, because a lot of them have it above their door. Well, that's there. And what's cool about this one, I thought, is it's a wide screen. You can see here, both of them are taller and more square. This one's wider, so when you're putting it on your dash, it doesn't stick up so high in your field of view. So, and this will do, like I said, 3 cameras. It's got the hookups for all of them back here, and it's, well, it'll take up to 3. It's wireless, and it has a good range. They give you all kinds of different mounts. You have this mount if you want to just stick it to your dashboard. If you have that, ours has the little track system in it. We put ours on, but this would stick to your motorhome or whatever you have dash. That's a good mount for that. Comes with the power cord for your monitor, so you can, if it's in your truck, you don't need that much cord, but it's nice they give it to you if you need it. And here is the wiring where you just plug into the Furrion plug up top. Then we bring out the camera. Has the rubber silicone boot to put behind it, so you seal it. You don't have to put silicone, but I still would put silicone to seal it. And you can see right here, it looks just like, I mean, we'll get you guys a closer look at that one, but it looks just like the Furrion mount, the same shape and everything. Camera's already in there. Right here is your plug. See if you guys can see that. And up in the RV is the female part of this plug. We just plug it in, set this up in there. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to take it out of the holder. We're going to leave our holder on. We're going to take it out of the holder off of here and then just put it up into the holder up there. That'd be truly plug and play. But it's nice they didn't include this in case you don't have the pre-wired. You could just tap into one of your lights up there and use the included plug. Tap this into the positive and negative of the wire or the tail light, and then plug this into your end here, and you're set and ready to go. So that's nice. I mean, it's pretty simple. What you have dual antennas. Let me see if I can find them all. Here's the dual ones for the screen. They're smaller ones because you don't want them sticking up in your field of view. There's 2 of them right here. And then you have the one for your camera, just screws right into the side. That way you can have it like that for the range. We'll test some range too. What we'll do after we get it installed is we'll run like a 12-volt power supply to the monitor, and we'll walk away from it until we get to where it doesn't want to show us the view. So then that way we know. And we won't do it from the back of the rig. We'll do it from the front, like where your truck would be. So we'll just keep walking and walking till it goes out. I mean, it's close to real world, right? You're in your truck, which will diminish the signal a little, but you know, okay, most rigs are what? The bigger ones are 40. This one's 43 feet. So 43 feet plus the truck, you're what? 40, 50, 63 feet maybe, plus the gab. Say 65 feet. So if we can get at least 60, 65 feet, you know you're going to be good on most RVs. So with that being said, let me get this camera taken out. It's pretty easy to take out of there. I'll try to get you guys closer. Right here, you can see the little rubber stops. Inside of there are 4 screws. We're just going to unscrew those. This camera will come out like this, and it should go up in our Furrion mount up on the RV. So before we do that, we'll get you up here closer to the Furrion one that's on the rig and show you how similar these look. If you have one that's, I don't know, I think it started in 2020 or 2021 when they did pre-wiring for the Furrion. Well, at least this brand. I know some other brands like Keystone have a different wiring for cameras, for different cameras, but this one has Furrion. So we'll go up there, give you guys a closer look, then we'll get this mounted up there. All right, as you can see, this is the Furrion mount. It looks close and similar to the mount that came on this AUTO-VOX, but you can see this camera here. I took it out of their holder. What we're gonna do right now is just gonna see if it does fit in the Furrion holder. Make sure all the plugs are out of the way for now. There we go. It kind of does. There's one corner here where if you were to trim that off, it would fit in there better. We're going to trim it off so it fits in there better. Just that little corner, you guys can see it, it's sticking out. This is more rounded, this is squared. We just need to trim that a little, and then that looks like the screw holes and everything line up. And like I said, hookup is easy. On these ones that are pre-done, you have the female plug right here, and the male plug's just going to plug into that. Put your 4 screws back in, you're done back here. That's what makes this simple. It's nice to see an aftermarket camera, which costs half of what the Furrion does, that goes into the same spot. It's pretty awesome. One thing I noticed on this camera, the antenna's on the side. On the Furrion, it comes out of this top hole. So you're going to have like no antenna coming up out of this if you use the Furrion mount. But we're just doing this for a test until our Furrion comes. And then only because we already had that going before this got sent to us. Otherwise, this would probably be a great option. We'll see what the video looks like first, though, but before we make that assumption. But yeah, that looks like it's going to be good. I'm just going to trim that corner there. Just use a pocket knife or something, trim that up. Looks like it'll fit in here good. So let me trim that. We'll get this plugged in and mounted in here. Then we'll go do the other part. All right, guys, we got that corner trimmed right here. We just used a knife. I'll pop a picture up. And it fit way better, like almost perfect. Right now, we're just going to put our antenna in before we mount it in there. There we go. Our antenna is mounted. We'll have it pointing up like you're supposed to. We'll pop this in. We're just going to plug this into the pre-wired Furrion plug that's there. We're just going to plug that in. 4 small screws, which come in the kit. You're just going to take the screws you took this out of the holder, use the same ones to do that. Or if you have the cap in yours, when you get these new, they have like a plug. You could take that plug out and use those screws too. That's what we're going to do. But we're just going to plug it in. Right here, we're just plugging it into the fit nicely, just like you think it should. And that's perfectly in there. Now be careful with these screws because they are super tiny. I know I'm going to drop one. I just mean that's how small they are. I'm going to try not to. I got big fingers. I wouldn't recommend using a power tool to put these in because they're so tiny. There we go. Got one to hold it. We should be good now. We're going to do that. Then we'll go to the monitor section in the truck. It comes with the plug for the 12 volt. We just plug it in. It should see it. And this needs to be powered. So if you're doing this test before you have it hooked to your truck, I'll show you a trick just to get power going to your camera so you can have the power going to your camera. You're just going to use a fuse and jump your plug on the front, your 7-way plug. All right, we'll peel the plastic off the camera so we get the good view. There we go. I'm not sure where it's aimed, but we can aim it as we do it. There we go. I'll get you guys a close-up look up here. He can hand me the camera. All right, here we are, guys. You can see it's mounted in there. Our antenna's here. This is that little hole I was telling you about that you will have on the top where the Furrion antenna comes out. You can plug that with a piece of tape or something, or silicone, wherever you want, if you're using this camera with the mount, but it fits pretty good. After I trimmed that corner, it fit in there really nice. The screws went in, so it's mounted nicely on there. Keep you guys centered. It's mounted nicely on here. So now we're going to go up front, do that trick on the 7-way plug to get power back here. If you're not hooked to your truck. If you're plugged into your truck, you're good to go. But if not, I'll show you a trick. And then we'll go in the truck, plug in the monitor, see if we can catch the signal on this. All right, that little trick I was trying to tell you guys about, if you're not hooked up to your truck or you're not close enough to plug your plug in, I'll show you right here. If you take like a 10 amp fuse, probably the most ideal one to use, and on your 7-way plug, you have that bump that's on your 7-way plug. If you jump those 2 plugs right here, that puts power to your RV, like for all the lights. We'll show you the lights lit up. Right there, you can see it lit up. And so that gives power also to the camera. So now the camera's powered up. We can go in the truck, just plug in the screen and see if we can find that camera. All right, guys, we got everything set up back there. The camera's installed. We got it powered up with that little trick I showed you. Now we're going to be installing the screen. This is pretty easy. We already put the antennas in. I'll take one out and show you. You just screw them in. There's the short ones. You're just going to screw them in the top of the camera on both sides. It gives you that extended range, they say. And here's the plug you plug into your 12-volt power supply. What's cool about this plug It also has a USB on it if you need to power something else, so you don't lose that spot. And it has a power switch for on and off. So we're going to plug that into our 12-volt supply. Well, we'll do it this way because the cord hangs out the bottom. Then we're going to pull some of this cord out here. And I don't want to, well, fully unwrap it. Who cares, right? Fully unwrap it here. I mean, that's a lot of cord, especially if your monitor is right there. So now we're going to plug it into the cord of the monitor. Let's see. Oh, they're the really tiny. I don't know if you guys can see them in there. Really, really tiny pins in there. On this, you can see there's a hump on the plug. Right here, there's a hump. You'll feel it. And there's a bump in this part. So just put those two together. Make sure you line those up because those pins are so tiny. If you bend those, you're done. All right. Now we have it plugged in. Let's turn the power on. Oh, let's peel this off. Nice. Dang, look how fast that connected. Can you guys see that? Got the glare. That connected nice, fast. It also has the lines for backing up, which is pretty nice. So when you're mounting that, make sure you're centered on that. Let's go through a few of the, they got settings. On this, on the back of the monitor, you have up and down and then the menu button, which is also your enter or select. So we're going to press that middle one. There's our menu. We could pair it, like if you have another camera or something, but ours automatically paired right here. And then you have, whoops, I pressed the wrong button, y'all. But then you can move it around. We got playback because this does have a DVR in it, and it comes included with a 32 gigabyte memory card. So you can record this also. So while you're driving, you want to use it as almost like a backup camera to where if somebody hits you in the back or something, you'll have it recorded. So keep that in mind. That's probably a pretty good feature. Oh, pressing buttons. Oh, that's for channel 2. Back to channel 1. So that's your different views for different cameras. So let's try to find the one we want here. There's, if you have your 2 cameras hooked up, it'll be that view. And then, like I said, this does do 3 cameras. Now we're back to this one. We'll go through our menu again. Playback. You got your grid lines. You can turn those on and off if you don't want them there. I think they're pretty handy. At least they are in the truck. We can go to our settings. This is where you can adjust your brightness, your contrast. You want to set your date and time. All that stuff you can get done from here. Yes, remember I said you can record because of the DVR, so you can redo that. I'm not even sure what MU control is. Let's check it out. Oh, so you can mirror this if you want it like upside down. Like if you had to mount your camera upside down, you can change that so you can tell it to go the other way. So that's pretty nice. But man, that's for sure, because this is a 1080 picture. I mean, that is clear. Maybe we'll have to do another video with comparing it to the Furrion view once we get the other replacement one. Down here is you're going to display your date and time. Although with our view we have right now, it's hard to see that. I mean, it blends in pretty good. I don't know if you have a darker background, it might show up a little better, but you can read it. Man, it looks pretty good. I mean, I can't complain about that. It looks good. So that was it. So far as it being a direct like plug and play for Furrion, you'd have this installed in probably 15 minutes. If you weren't shooting a video, you plug in the one in the back, put the screws in, plug your truck in, plug this in, you're viewing what you're supposed to see. So now what I'd like to do is I wanted to do a range test, but you see, we're not connected to the RV. And the RV the camera's way in the back, and that's a 43-foot RV. And we're in the truck, so we're probably at least 70 feet from the back of that RV right now, and no problem. There's no glitching or anything. So I'd say you're going to get what you need in a longer rig, and this is going to work for you. And we're inside the truck, and the camera's on the back of the RV, so you do have these antennas for more distance, which is helping, and I like the view. Remember what I mentioned too, there are different ways you can mount it. It comes with this sticky one where you can stick this to the top of your dash and just mount the screen. It comes with like the little mount, so you can mount the screen right on that. You'll see the little teeth there. This mounts on there. It'd be a perfect spot on your dash. Like if you have an RV or something, or a motorhome and you want to put that on there. For us, we have this little grid system back here. So we'll probably get a ball mount to mount something like this to or something. So our camera could sit kind of at an angle here for us. And like I said, I do like the lower profile, the wider screen. Because the other screen, man, you lose some of your view out the windshield. This one here gives us a wider view. And you can hook up the 3 cameras. Just imagine a split into 3s if you're seeing 3 cameras, or in half if you're viewing 2, because you can get a second camera and put it over your door, because some of them are wired for the door cameras. Ours isn't, so we don't need it on there. We got a light in the front, not in over the door. So pretty good setup. All right, guys, another test we did was we hooked up that second camera out back there. What we did, we'll show you. We just hooked the wires into our Milwaukee 12-volt battery to power the camera and set on top of the golf cart. But on here, this is the view we have off the back of the rig. And if on the back, if you just press the arrows up and down, that selects your cameras. We already paired the camera. See, this is the other second camera sitting on top of the golf cart. You can see that view. I like that line down here. You can read it better. You can see the date and time better. But what you have to do when you get that second camera is you have to pair it. If you just go to pair, click it for cam 2, and it automatically finds it once you power it up. So it was quick and easy. I mean, literally. And then we'll kick it again. Here's our dual view right here. We have the second camera running, the first camera running. And like I said, this does up to 3. So if you have 3 cameras, plug it in. I mean, the screens get smaller, obviously, but you still could see. And then back, we can go back to our original camera. So that's pretty good. I mean, it was so fast. I mean, once I powered that camera, went up here and paired it, it was done. It found it in no time. Now I have both views. So I can put that other camera anywhere. I'm not sure why this camera shows the line at the bottom with the date and time, but the other camera don't. Get to that one. See, down here, don't have that, like that background line. It just has the date and time in your screen, which, I mean, I still could see it. It works, but we can mess around with it more. You can mess with the contrast and stuff like that, but that's pretty cool. I thought we'd just hook up that second camera to show you guys how easy it is, and then what the view would look like on this screen, since it is a widescreen. So pretty nice. Well, there you have it, guys. That was a pretty easy install, and it is definitely a direct plug and play for the Furrion cameras. And hookup was easy even for that second monitor. I'll show you how we hooked that up. We just took the 12-volt Milwaukee battery, and then you have your positive and negative, which runs the camera. We just put them in the 2 spots, and the Milwaukees are marked positive and negative, so you know where to put them. And that powered that camera for us. And then you've seen the trick we showed you on the front, which powers the other one if you're not hooking up to your rig and you're just doing install first. So that was nice. A couple other things about this. You can get 18 months extended warranty on this camera and monitor setup. And it does come with your booklet, tell you all about it. One thing I found, though, remember we were mentioning on the plug that it said, I said this was power on and off. It doesn't seem to power on and off anything. I mean, you hear it click, but it doesn't seem to do anything. I mean, we even plugged a car charger into the USB. It didn't even shut that off or anything. So I'm not quite sure what it does. The book didn't tell me, but doesn't really matter. You can unplug it to shut it off, really. And then, like I said, you do have your one mount that you can use for your dash. However you choose to mount it, you got those options. This is a 1080p, so it's full HD, and it has that 7.2-inch screen. Of course, they're going to measure it the width-wise, and it has the DVR, which will record all 3 cameras. And that it does include the memory card, 32 gigabyte. It'll just keep doing it right and over it like a backup camera does. So you also have that backup camera protection in the back. If somebody happens to hit you or something, you'll have it on tape. It also has night vision, so it has the IR lights on the back. So at night, you're going to be able to see. The Furrion, I know, does have audio. This camera doesn't have the audio, which I don't know if that's good or bad. Our Furrion, when we had that hooked up, if you have the sound, all you hear is road noise when you're going down the road. So you tend up having to shut that off. So, but it could be good if somebody's back here trying to guide you, you'd be able to hear them a little better. So that's nice to have. And then, like I said, that DVR recording is also pretty nice. So that's it. Pretty easy install. It looks seamless. It fits in here right where the other one did. I mean, I'm pretty impressed with it, especially being half the cost of a Furrion and being that good. And the screen is crystal clear. I mean, I thought maybe I'd see graininess or some fuzziness. It's perfectly clear, both of those cameras. So, and with your extended 18 months warranty, you can feel better about it anyway if you were to sink the $150 into this. At the recording of this video, it is Prime Days, so that could be cheaper, but by the time this comes out, it won't be Prime Days. But they're about $150 normally, which is a good bargain. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, hit us up down below. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching, and try something new.
Do a little